Welcome to another episode of Arty Alex. Today we'll be exploring different styles of fashion. Clothing is often overlooked by beginners, but it can be the very thing that takes your art to the next level. Before I began drawing, I did some research. I didn't know anything about Renaissance, Colonial, or Steampunk era fashion, so I did some research on DuckDuckGo.com. Hashtag not sponsored. When you are researching fashion, pay attention how the outfit is put together. Determine all the pieces that make up the outfit. In the Renaissance era, due to the influence of Henry VIII, puffing and stuffing the sleeveless shoulders was common among royalty, nobility, and sometimes the middle class. All but the poorest peasants wore stockings of some sort, and it was not just common, but generally regarded as mandatory for men to have a hat or head covering. Royalty wore clothing made out of expensive materials such as silk, satin, and velvet, and many peasants simply wore wool or flannel. In the colonial era, it was common to see men with an overcoat with a long tail. Colonial dress was accompanied with a cravat, which is a type of neckband, and a waistcoat or vest. The pants that men wore during this time period usually stopped at the knees or a few inches past the knees. The bare legs were covered with stockings, and then those pilgrim shoes with the buckles. Also pay attention to the colors of the fabrics used during the time period that you are studying. When researching the clothing, familiarize yourself with fabrics. You can go to your local craft store and get samples. In order to draw the fabric, you need to have an idea of how soft or how stiff it is, how it falls with gravity. Does it even fall with gravity? Here, I've taken a pose from a reference photo and drawn it 4 times, each with a different era or style of clothing. I had footage of the drawing of the Renaissance style, but I couldn't tell you where it went off to. Moving along. For the colonial era, I have added a long coat with the vest underneath. The breeches are knee-length and the stockings are knee-high. And the buttons, don't forget the buttons. Lots and lots of buttons. For the steampunk era drawing, on the left side of the page, that would be the character's right leg, I originally added some tools that were strapped to the leg, although they got covered up by the butt of the grappling gun. The character is wearing knee pads, a tattered jacket, worn boots, and some eye-enhancing contraption on its head. The astronaut suit I included isn't an error so much, but I included it because it was something I always thought of as a daunting task due to all the wrinkles, all the pockets, and the 3 or 4 hoses coming from the torso. I color each of these demonstrations. The drawings I've done today are on tracing paper, which is great for when you're designing, but I didn't let the ink dry all the way before erasing my construction lines, and I ended up with a few smudges and smears. I also forgot to test out my Copics on it prior to coloring, so some colors don't show up very well. If you are designing fantasy, futuristic, mecha, robots, apocalyptic, or any other time period, keep in mind that form follows function. Try to make practical your designs. Throwing a bunch of wires, gears, pistons, and etc. randomly into your design can throw off its credibility. That doesn't mean that you need to be an engineer before you can draw spaceships or robots or motorcycles, but try to understand the function and that will help you to draw the form. If you liked this video, be sure to drop a like, subscribe to this channel for more content, and share with your friends. Thanks for stopping by. Alex out.